Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there in the first place? Or picked up your phone, stared at it, and couldn't remember who you were about to call? You're not alone. Moments like these happen to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's the truth most people don't tell you. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean your mind has to slow down. In fact, your brain is a lot like a muscle. And just like your body needs movement to stay strong, your brain needs stimulation to stay sharp. After 60, many people worry about forgetfulness or feeling mentally foggy. But the great news is it doesn't have to be that way. There are simple, enjoyable hobbies that can actually rewire your brain, helping you think clearer, feel more energized, and stay more connected with the world around you. Today, we're diving into something that matters more than ever, keeping your mind sharp, your spirits high, and your days filled with meaning. We're going to explore 3 hobbies that aren't just fun. They're backed by science to help your brain grow new connections, boost memory, and improve your overall mental well-being. And the best part? You don't have to be a genius or an athlete to enjoy them. These are things you can start right now, no matter your background or experience. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly learned something new? Not just read the news or watch TV, but actually sat down and tried something unfamiliar. That feeling of struggling a bit at first, but then slowly starting to get it. That's exactly the kind of brain activity we want to tap into. So let's begin with something that might surprise you. Learning to play a musical instrument. Now, I can already hear some of you chuckling. At my age, I can't even remember where I put my glasses. But hear me out. You don't need to become the next Mozart. In fact, just the act of learning, pressing a few keys on a keyboard, strumming a simple tune on a ukulele, even tapping rhythms on a drum, starts lighting up areas in your brain that haven't been used in years. Music activates both sides of your brain at once, improving memory, coordination, and even emotional health. There was a study done with seniors who took piano lessons for just a few months. Not only did they enjoy the experience, but they also saw noticeable improvements in their memory and mood. Why? Because learning music challenges your brain in a deeply engaging way. You're reading notes, moving your fingers, listening for pitch. It's like a full workout for your mind. And let's not forget how soothing it can be. Playing a few gentle notes after dinner or tapping out a rhythm while you relax can be both calming and uplifting. And if piano sounds too intimidating, you could try something simpler, a hand drum, a harmonica, or even a xylophone. Yes, those brightly colored ones can do wonders. The goal isn't to perform in a concert. It's to keep your brain alive, awake and learning. Now, once you've gotten a taste of musical joy, let's shift gears to another hobby that's equally powerful, painting or drawing. Again, don't worry if you haven't held a paintbrush since school. This isn't about creating a masterpiece. It's about expressing yourself and giving your brain a chance to stretch creatively. When you paint, your brain focuses deeply. You're observing shapes, choosing colors, thinking about space and composition, all of which fire up different neural pathways. And unlike a crossword puzzle or a word game, art taps into your emotional brain as well. It can bring out memories, stir feelings, and give you a safe space to process whatever you're going through. There's something magical about mixing colors or watching a blank canvas slowly come to life. You don't even need fancy supplies. A cheap set of watercolors, a pad of paper, and a few brushes are more than enough to get started. And if painting isn't your thing, try sketching with pencils, coloring in an adult coloring book, or playing with clay. It's the act of creating that matters most. What's truly beautiful is that making art doesn't just improve your brain's function, it also improves your mood. Many older adults who take up painting report feeling calmer, more focused, and even more confident. And that confidence spills over into other areas of life. Suddenly, you're not just getting by, you're thriving. Now let's talk about something that might seem less creative, but is just as powerful, our gardening. Yes, getting your hands in the soil, planting flowers or vegetables, and tending to them day by day is more than just a relaxing pastime. It's one of the most brain-boosting hobbies out there. Think about it. When you garden, you're using memory to recall planting schedules, attention to monitor growth, planning to arrange your space, and physical coordination to dig, water, and prune. And that's not all. Research shows that gardening does, because here's the thing, your brain loves novelty. It craves it. It lights up when you try something new, especially something that challenges you in just the right way. And one of the best hobbies for this, one that not only sharpens your thinking, but also helps you stay socially connected, is learning a new language. Now, I know that might sound like a tall order. Why would I start learning Spanish or Italian now, you might wonder? Isn't that for kids or travelers? But the truth is, learning a new language after 60 is one of the most powerful ways to boost cognitive health. And you don't have to become fluent to feel the benefits. When you learn a language, even a few new words a week, your brain starts building fresh connections. It exercises memory, attention, listening skills, and even problem solving. You're not just memorizing vocabulary, you're training your brain to think in a new pattern. And it's this effort, this little mental stretch, that rewires your brain, strengthens it, and slows down aging in a very real way. And let's not forget how fun it can be. Imagine ordering coffee in French or chatting with your grandchild using a few words in Japanese. It sparks curiosity, brings laughter, and gives you a small sense of adventure, all from the comfort of your home. You don't need to sign up for a full class or buy expensive programs. There are free apps where you can learn a language at your own pace, even just 5 minutes a day. Start with greetings, common phrases, or vocabulary around things you enjoy. Food, weather, family, and don't worry if you forget. The process of trying, stumbling, and trying again is what makes it so powerful. Plus, this kind of learning is deeply personal. It gives you a goal to look forward to, something to do with your morning coffee or your quiet evenings. And every new word is a small victory, a reminder that your mind is still growing, still alive, still full of possibility. What's more, learning a language opens up connection. Maybe you'll find a language partner online. Maybe you'll practice with a neighbor or send a short message to a friend who speaks that language. These little human moments keep us engaged, keep us laughing, and most importantly, they keep us from feeling alone. Because that's something many people don't talk about after 60. The quiet loneliness that can sneak in. Kids grow up, friends move away. The routines that once kept us busy start to fade. But when you have a hobby that sparks your mind and connects you to others, even in small ways, it can shift everything. It brings back a sense of purpose, of curiosity, of joy. And speaking of purpose, there's one more hobby that often flies under the radar. But it's incredibly powerful when it comes to mental health. That hobby is storytelling, specifically writing down your memories, your thoughts, or even small made-up stories. It doesn't matter if you've never written anything in your life. You don't need to be a novelist or a poet. All you need is a pen and a willingness to share, even if it's just with yourself. You see, writing is a form of reflection. It activates areas of the brain that help with language, memory, and emotional regulation. And when you start putting your thoughts into words, something beautiful happens. You begin to make sense of your experiences. You start noticing patterns, finding meaning, and even healing old wounds. Start small. Write a paragraph about the best summer you can remember. Jot down a funny moment from your childhood, or describe a person who made a difference in your life. Don't worry about grammar or punctuation. No one's grading you. Just write the way you speak and let the memories flow. And if you want to be a little more playful, try writing a story. Maybe it's something completely made up, a mystery, a romance, or a little fable. Your imagination still has plenty of fuel, and writing is a wonderful way to let it out. Some people find that journaling at night helps them sleep better. Others like to write in the morning, almost like a conversation with themselves. However you do it, the act of writing keeps your brain flexible and your heart open. It's a deeply human way to stay connected, not just to the world, but to yourself. And if you feel comfortable, share what you write. A story written on a card for your grandchild, a letter to a friend, a post in a local group. Your words have weight. They carry history, wisdom, humor. And those things are gifts. What's powerful about all these hobbies, music, art, gardening, language, writing, is that they help you build a life that's still unfolding, still meaningful. They remind you that your best days aren't just behind you. They're happening now, one creative moment at a time. Because staying sharp after 60 isn't about doing puzzles all day or memorizing lists. It's about living in a way that challenges you just enough to grow. It's about surprising yourself, trying something new. Because when you truly allow yourself to try new things, even in small doses, life becomes a series of meaningful discoveries instead of routines on repeat. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about hobbies that engage the brain is that they ripple into every corner of your daily life. Your sleep improves. Conversations become more interesting. Even food seems to taste a little better when your mind is awake and active. But maybe you're thinking, all of this sounds wonderful, but I'm just not the creative type, or I don't know where I'd find the motivation. And if that's you, let me tell you something important. Motivation often comes after you start, not before. You don't need to feel excited at the beginning. You just need to begin. Pick up the brush, pluck a string, write a sentence, water a plant. The joy will follow. And even more than joy, what follows is clarity. When your brain is stimulated, when it's working, learning, creating, that mental fog so many people complain about starts to lift. You find yourself remembering names again, thinking faster, making decisions with more confidence. That's not magic. That's biology. Your brain is responding to what you're feeding it. And the good news is, you're never too old to feed it something new. You see, after 60, a lot of people feel like they've reached a kind of plateau. Maybe your kids are grown. Maybe your career has slowed down or ended altogether. The busy schedules, the noise, the constant demands that once kept your days full. They're quieter now, and for many that silence can feel a little bit like being forgotten, or even losing a sense of who you are. But here's the truth. This isn't an ending. It's a turning point. It's a chance to rediscover the parts of yourself that got set aside during the hustle of earlier life. The curious part, the playful part, the imaginative part. Hobbies that rewire your brain aren't just exercises, they're invitations. They invite you to show up for your own life with fresh eyes, with purpose, and with joy. And joy, my friend, is powerful. It brings energy, it brings lightness. It reminds us that there is still so much to experience, even in familiar places, even in our own homes. Think about it this way. When you try something new, whether it's music, painting, learning Spanish, growing basil, or writing down your childhood memories, you're not just passing the time, you're strengthening your brain's connections. You're keeping it alert, flexible, resilient. And this doesn't just help with memory or focus, it helps with emotional well-being too. You feel more in control, more optimistic, more connected to the world around you, and connection is key. Maybe one of the most underrated ways hobbies help us stay sharp isn't just what they do inside the brain, but how they bring us closer to others. Sharing your painting with a friend, teaching your grandchild how to say hello in Italian, swapping garden tips with a neighbor, reading a story you wrote out loud to someone who loves hearing your voice. These little moments aren't little at all. They're what give life its warmth and color. They keep us from becoming isolated. They remind us we're still part of the world. Still contributors, still creators, still needed. If you've ever thought, what's the point? I'm too old to start something new. Please hear this. The point is you, your mind, your story, your sense of vitality. The point is waking up each day with something to look forward to. A few minutes of joy, of focus, of curiosity. That's the secret. Not grand plans or big achievements. Just small, steady steps that make you feel alive. And that's what I hope you take away today. You have more power than you think. You can shape your brain, renew your energy, and find new meaning just by picking up a hobby that feels good to you, not because someone else told you to, not because it's a trend, but because it nourishes something deep inside you, that spark, that part that still wants to learn and grow. And if you're not sure where to begin, take this as your gentle push. Go pick up a notebook. Doodle in the margins. Hum a little tune. Download a language app and learn how to say thank you in a new way. Look at your windowsill and imagine a little pot of lavender growing there. Let yourself begin, and once you do, come back and tell me about it. Share your experience in the comments. What did you try? How did it feel? What surprised you? This isn't just a video, it's a conversation, and I'd love to hear from you. Your voice matters here. If this video helped you or even just gave you a tiny nudge in a new direction, give it a like so more people can find it. Subscribe if you want more warm, real, and useful ideas for living your best life at any age. There's so much we still have to talk about, and I'd love for you to be part of that journey. So here's to you, to your beautiful, powerful brain, your kind and curious heart, and the many adventures